In October 2012, my family lost their house in Hurricane Sandy. My high school, like, they had a lot of money. They were affluent, and they have, like, you know, like, people say, like, oh, my guidance counselor is also my counselor. But we had, like, licensed clinical social workers and licensed therapists at my high school all the time. And before Sandy, I knew that I wanted to talk to them because I had always been depressed. But I just couldn't figure out a way to get there on my own. So Sandy, like, the day we came back from school from Sandy, they're like, do you want to speak to someone? I was like, yes. Like, it was perfect, like, segue. So I think, like, a lot of times, Sandy was, like, obviously one of the worst things that could ever happen to anyone, but it definitely saved my life in a kind of way. Like, you know, like, it was, like, definitely opened the doors to me to, like, get help, because then, you know, a lot of times, like, I think my mom would say, you know, she was depressed because of Sandy, you know, that's, like, a normal thing, but it had been going on for a really long time up to that point. Well, I'm from Union Beach, so, it's low income. I mean, maybe low income to, like, middle class, some people, but it's definitely not a solid neighborhood. Like, there are worse neighborhoods around it. Like, the school district's okay. It's not the best. Like, there's no high school there, so I actually went to school half an hour away to upper middle class, very nice neighborhoods. I mean, I didn't realize how little I had until, like, I got to high school and realized, like, wow, like, this, like, people really do have so much more, and I've always, like, wanted that. Like, I've always wanted to go to college, and I've always wanted a career and to do better for myself, and I think that's everything my mom always wanted me to have as well. She really, really worked hard to give me everything that I wanted and everything I needed, and she got me here to college. She helps me financially through all of this. My town didn't have a high school, so I applied to go there. Like, so many people get accepted to the one school, and then so many other people go, so, like, they might go to, like, a Catholic or private school, like, their parents might, like, about a few of them go there, and then they have those vocational schools that people go to, and then you would go to the nearest town public school. That really goes right into my story that I was really bullied a lot, so it was a good start for me. It was a new, fresh start to be able to go from my middle school to my high school, economically, socially, and academically. I was depressed for a long time. Probably longer than I could even, like, give you an age, but I distinctly remember being depressed, like, 12 and 13. If I was evaluated at the time, one could say that I was probably depressed for even before age 12, but I remember being outside of a store and I don't know, however I was behaving or something with my mom. She was just like, why are you like this? Like, what's wrong with you? And I told her I was depressed, like, in the middle of a store. And some woman looked at us and I just, like, just forget it. Like, never mind. Like, you know, it's just not, like, but I was really struggling. I remember being in the 8th grade and, like, recently I've accepted my anxieties. Like, I have, like, really bad generalized anxiety disorder. I didn't realize that like had always been with me, even in the 8th grade, even if I hadn't felt it until I got to college. Like, I remember, like, the symptoms of what I was dealing with then were just depression, but also anxiety. Not wanting to be in school is a common thing for people who were at that age, and not wanting, like, just, I remember counting the days until I was graduating 8th grade and I could just leave. And, like, they were, like, I remember having stomach problems, like, it's just, like, I was just in pain a lot, and, it was just bad. Like, and then I remember, I had thought about self-harm and suicide at that point, too, as well. I've only ever had thoughts about self-harm, but I've never actually attempted to hurt myself in any kind of way. I just always seemed to manage it. I think I didn't want to be in school. That was making me really depressed. I had been bullied for a long time, and I think that I was just always had been depressed. And then, you know, in middle school, everything gets so much worse, and people deal with, like, the hormones things and all those kinds of things. So it escalated to being like, yeah, I've been depressed for a really long time, to like the emotions and your body just like overreacting. I lost my house in Sandy, and then I got counseling in school. And then when that wasn't enough, there was an incident with someone that was like my longtime friend, and that was just like it for me. I didn't feel like I had anyone, even if I did, like friends or social support or anything. Like nobody was there for me. I was just doing so terribly. So I went to my counselor in school that day, and I said, you're going to like regret it if you really can't help me. So she was on it. She got me the support at home. So they started me in like 8 weeks of at-home therapy, which then like what still wasn't enough. And at that point I had gone to a psychiatrist because they thought, medication would really help this person. But my mom didn't want me on it. She talked that doctor out of it. She was like, my daughter's a Girl Scout, my daughter gets good grades, my daughter's in all these music concerts, and she's okay, and like Sandy, because Sandy happened, this is normal. And then, so there's lots of different like moving parts about like Sandy. Like we had moved into another apartment at that point, and I started counseling with this woman, Kristen, for about a year, even a little more than a year. And I started to do better at the beginning. So I hadn't ever gone back to a psychiatrist, but she really saved my life. And then I got all this counseling and psychiatry and everything for free because of Sandy. They really just tried to support like their youth at that time in the state of New Jersey anyway. Something about my body chemicals it's just off somewhere. So like I recently got diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, and like I started seeing the psychiatrist here at Stockton, and I've been in counseling at Stockton since my freshman year with the same person, because she's amazing and she really helped me through it. And like I had said, like my anxiety, like I never realized that my anxiety was something that was hard for me until I got to college. Like I had my first panic attack, and that's what got me into counseling here. She really helped me get through all the continuous panic attacks that I was having, and how to manage my symptoms of anxiety. And she's amazing, and so are the psychiatrists here, and no one should ever be afraid to go to Stockton's counseling or Stockton's psychiatry. But my mental health is always going to be a challenge, I think. I mean, I'd hope that one day, I could stop the medication and then see where it goes from there. Maybe it is just a college thing. College is hard, and I'm not experiencing it well mentally, like how I'm supposed to be performing in that kind of way. And maybe I won't need support my whole life on medication or counseling, but maybe I will. Everybody's different. Everybody needs different kind of support. Well, in high school, when I got better, when I was about 17, I really started to get into mental health activism. I applied to be part of the Society for the Prevention of Teen Suicide. I was one of their first executive teen board members. And then I held an Out of the Darkness walk through the same counseling services that helped me. So then I loved the activism. And then when I graduated, and then I was like, I need to keep doing that. So I found Active Minds before I even got to Stockton. Now I'm president of Active Minds, and I love Active Minds so much. And having gone through all this and then getting to experience all the activism, I know this, everything, I really believe everything happens for a reason. You don't know why it happens until you get to the end. And I'm like, wow, it's because now I'm able to help tell my story and help other people, and it shapes what I want to do. I want to do crisis intervention social work at a hospital, and I want to be on the front line of someone when they're really going through the worst times. I'm a crisis text line counselor, and I get to do that already now. But it really, my mental health struggles really helped me get to where I want to be and help me shape who I am.